When I entered the room, my cheating wife and her affair partner were in the midst of it and didn't notice me. Damn, could I have chosen a better time? Bravo, bravo, what a performance, I said loudly, clapping. It was as if a bomb had exploded in the room. He jumped away from her, covering himself with a sheet. Her eyes widened in fear. I calmly sat down on a chair, and here's what happened next. I had a gut feeling something was off. It had started as a whisper in my mind weeks ago, but tonight it screamed. I was supposed to be out of town, but a canceled meeting brought me home early. I parked down the street, stepping out of my car in silence. My house was dark, except for the dim glow coming from our bedroom window. As I pushed the front door open, I heard it. Soft moans, heavy breathing, the unmistakable sound of betrayal. I moved like a ghost, my footsteps light on the wooden floor. My heart pounded, but my mind was razor sharp. I had imagined this moment, dreaded it, but now that it was real, there was no pain, just clarity. I reached the bedroom door. It was open just a crack. I pushed it wider, and there she was. My wife, the woman I built my life with, rising beneath some pathetic excuse of a man. They were so lost in their own filth, they didn't even hear me. Damn, could I have chosen a better time? I took a slow step inside, then another. Then, with a smirk, I clapped. Once, twice, 3 times. Bravo, bravo, what a performance! The reaction was immediate, like a bomb going off. He jumped away from her, scrambling for the sheets like a coward. She froze, her face draining of color, her lips parting in sheer horror. I didn't yell. I didn't rage. I just walked to the chair by the window, sat down, crossed my legs, and smiled. Go on. Don't stop on my account. Silence, thick and suffocating. The only sound was their frantic breathing, his shaky and panicked, hers hitched with fear. The sheets rustled as he tried to cover himself, his face twisted in sheer disbelief. I leaned back in the chair, cool and composed. No rage, no screaming, just icy control. Go on. Don't stop on my account, I repeated, watching them squirm. She clutched the blanket to her chest, her hands trembling. This isn't what it looks like, she stammered. I let out a chuckle, a slow, amused laugh that made her flinch. Oh, really? So what am I looking at? An audition for a low-budget adult film? Because if so, I have to say, his performance is kind of lacking. Her affair partner, let's call him the Worm, because that's exactly what he looked like as he cowered before me, opened his mouth to speak, but I cut him off with a sharp glare. Shut it. You're not in a position to talk. His mouth snapped shut. Good. I turned my gaze back to my wife, the woman I had shared years of my life with, the woman I had trusted, and now she was nothing but a stranger. You seem nervous, I mused, tilting my head. Why? Feeling guilty, or just scared about what happens next? She gulped. Please, let's just talk about this. Talk? Oh, now you want to talk? I scoffed. Funny, because you weren't exactly interested in a conversation when you were screwing him in my bed. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. She had nothing. I stood up, adjusting my watch. You know, I had 2 options when I walked in here. Option 1, I could lose my temper, yell, maybe even throw a few punches, but that would be too easy for you. I took a step forward. She shrank back. Or option 2, I could take my time, make you regret this in ways you never imagined. Her breath hitched. Now she was truly afraid. I smirked. Good. Then I pulled out my phone. Her eyes widened. What are you doing? I tapped the screen and pressed play. And just like that, the room filled with the unmistakable sounds of their betrayal. Moans, whispers, laughter. All of it recorded in crystal clear detail. My wife's face turned deathly pale. The Worm? He looked like he was about to vomit. I kept my gaze locked on them as I let the video play, their sins now undeniable. I think my favorite part is when you tell him how much better he is than me, I said, my voice even, almost conversational. Really makes a man feel special, you know? She shot forward, scrambling to snatch the phone from my hand, but I was faster. I stepped back, holding it just out of reach. Not so fast. She froze, breathing heavily, her eyes wide with panic. What? Where did you get that? She stammered. I smirked. Oh, she had no idea. I'm an observant man, I said, shrugging. You think I didn't notice the way you've been acting? The late nights, the sudden gym sessions, the way you kept your phone glued to your hand like it was your damn lifeline? She opened her mouth, but again, nothing came out. So I got curious, installed a few cameras, placed a few recorders, and guess what? You gave me exactly what I needed. The worm shot up, still clutching the sheet around his waist. Listen, man, we don't have to do this. I turned to him with a smirk. Oh, you think I'm doing this just for fun? No. I'm doing this to make sure you two suffer, and trust me, I've only just started. His Adam's apple bobbed as he swallowed hard. I turned back to my wife, who was visibly shaking. Tell me something, love. My voice was calm, almost soothing. Did you ever think about what would happen if you got caught? She didn't answer. Did you ever once consider how I would feel? I continued. Or was I just some what? A paycheck? A placeholder? A fool? Tears welled up in her eyes, but I felt nothing. I pocketed my phone and pulled out another device, a flash drive. Do you know what this is? I asked, twirling it between my fingers. She stared at it, then back at me. Please, I chuckled. Please? Now you beg? Oh, sweetheart, that ship sailed the moment you decided to spread your legs for this lowlife. I walked over to the bedroom TV, inserted the drive, and pressed play. And just like that, the video played on the big screen. The room was dead silent, except for the sound of the video playing on the large screen. The moans, the whispers, the betrayal, all in HD. My wife let out a strangled sob. The worm? He looked like he wanted the earth to swallow him whole. Turn it off, she whimpered. Please. I leaned back in my chair, arms crossed. Why? Feeling embarrassed? You weren't so shy when you were doing it. Her breathing hitched. The worm gripped the sheet tighter, his face a deep shade of red. But I wasn't done. Not even close. I pulled out my phone, and with a few taps, I sent the video to a pre-selected list of recipients. There, now it's out of my hands, I smirked, watching my wife's face go from pale to ashen. Her phone buzzed. Then again, and again, and again. Then she screamed. Her hands shook as she unlocked her phone. The realization hit instantly. You sent it to everyone? Oh yeah, I nodded. Your family, your friends, your boss. Even your gym trainer, since you were always so eager to work out with him. Tears streamed down her face, her world crumbling in real time. The worm shot toward me, rage and desperation replacing his shame. You ruined her life, he yelled, fists clenched. I stood up, towering over him. Oh, you think I ruined her life? She ruined mine first. I'm just making sure she gets exactly what she deserves. The worm stumbled back. He knew he didn't stand a chance. My wife collapsed onto the bed, sobbing hysterically. You can't do this, she stammered. I'll tell people you abused me. I laughed. Actually laughed. Oh, sweetheart, you forget who you're dealing with. I pulled out a thick folder from my bag and tossed it onto the bed next to her. Open it. She hesitated, but her shaking hands eventually flipped it open. Inside, bank statements, evidence of her draining our joint account, her affair receipts, hotel bills, extravagant gifts, all linked to her credit card, and best of all, legal documents, a divorce settlement that left her with nothing. You see, I said, watching the horror set in, I planned for everything. You don't just cheat on someone and expect to walk away without consequences. She flipped through the papers, her breaths coming in short, panicked gasps. You can't do this, she screeched. Oh, but I already did. I grabbed my jacket and turned to the door. By the way, I added, glancing back, your parents? Yeah, they saw the video too. Good luck explaining yourself. And with that, I walked out. I walked out of that room feeling lighter than I had in months. The weight of betrayal was still there, but now I was in control. But I knew my cheating wife wasn't done yet. I barely made it to my car before I heard her frantic footsteps behind me. "Wait!" she cried out, barefoot and disheveled. "Please, we can talk about this." I turned, leaning against my car. "Talk? Oh, now you want to talk?" I let out a low chuckle. "Where was this energy when you were sleeping around?" She clasped her hands together, her mascara-streaked face full of desperation. "It wasn't like that, I swear. I just, shut up." My voice was calm, cold, final. She flinched. "No more lies, no more excuses." I pulled out my phone and opened our bank app. "You see this?" I held it up, showing her the remaining balance in our joint account. Her eyes widened in horror. Gone. Every single cent. You took all the money?" she gasped. I smirked. "Oh no, sweetheart. I just took back what was mine." You're broke." She shook her head wildly, stepping closer. "Baby, listen, I messed up, but we can fix this. I still love you. I stepped forward, lowering my voice. "Love?" I tilted my head. "You mean the kind of love where you sleep with two of my so-called friends in my own house? Or the kind where you try to milk me for money while screwing around behind my back? That kind of love?" Tears ran down her cheeks. "I was stupid. I was selfish. I wasn't thinking straight. But you're my husband." I laughed. Actually laughed. "You made your choice, darling, and now you get to live with it." I opened my car door, but she lunged for my arm. "Please," she sobbed. "Don't do this. I'll do anything. Anything to fix this." I looked down at her. The same woman who had betrayed me, lied to me. The same woman who had humiliated me without a second thought. I yanked my arm away. "You don't get to fix this. You don't get a second chance. You made your bed. Now go lay in it. Alone." I got into my car and slammed the door shut. As I drove away, I saw her collapse onto the pavement, sobbing. But I didn't care. For the first time in a long time, I felt free. I sat back in my chair, watching my wife and her pathetic lover scramble to cover themselves. The tension in the room was suffocating, the weight of their shame pressing down like a storm cloud ready to burst. "Please," she whispered, her voice barely holding together. "Let's just talk," I laughed, a deep, cold laugh that sent a chill through both of them. "Talk? Oh, now you want to talk?" I leaned forward. "Funny, you didn't seem too interested in conversation when you were busy screwing this loser in my bed." Her affair partner, still gripping the sheet like his life depended on it, finally spoke. "Look, man, we don't have to make this a big deal. Things happen. Wrong move. I was on him in seconds, grabbing him by the throat and slamming him back against the wall." "Things happen?" I snarled, tightening my grip. "You really think screwing another man's wife is just some little accident?" His face turned red, eyes bulging. He was weak, pathetic. The same man who had been smugly rolling in my bed minutes ago was now trembling like a child. "Please," he gasped. I let go, letting him crumple to the floor like the worm he was. I wasn't done with him yet. I turned back to my wife, who was shaking. "You think I was just going to let this slide? You think you'd keep playing the perfect wife while sneaking around behind my back?" Tears welled up in her eyes, but I felt nothing for her anymore. She was dead to me. "You don't understand," she choked out. "It didn't mean anything. Save it." I cut her off, "because I'm about to make sure you understand exactly what happens next." I pulled my phone from my pocket and hit send. A few seconds later, her phone buzzed. She grabbed it, her eyes scanning the screen. Then she froze. The color drained from her face. She looked up at me, pure terror in her eyes. "What did you do?" she whispered. I smirked. "I sent a little gift to your parents, to your friends, to your boss. Hell, even to our neighbors. The video. Crystal clear footage of her betrayal." She dropped the phone, a strangled sob escaping her lips. Her lover scrambled up, grabbing his pants. "You sick bastard," he hissed. "You ruined her life." I raised an eyebrow. No, she ruined her own life. I just made sure everyone saw the truth. And with that, I turned and walked out, leaving them in their misery. But the revenge wasn't over yet. I walked out of the house, leaving behind the wreckage of my wife's choices. But my phone, it didn't stop buzzing. A dozen messages, missed calls, screaming voicemails, all from her. I smirked, let her panic. I drove off, heading to a quiet spot, a bar where no one knew me, where I could sit and watch the disaster unfold from a distance. Less than an hour later, it started. Her family's reaction. Her parents were the first to call. I didn't answer, but they left a voicemail. Her mother was sobbing. "How could she do this? We raised her better. Please call us back. Tell us this is a mistake." It wasn't, and they'd soon see that for themselves. Her father? Oh, he was different. His voice was cold as ice. "She's not welcome in this house anymore." I could only imagine the meltdown she must have had when her own father disowned her. Good. The professional collapse. Her job was next. She worked in a high-profile position, and her image was everything. A few well-placed messages to her colleagues, her boss, her industry contacts, and suddenly her respectable reputation was in the gutter. I got a text from a mutual friend. "Dude, I don't know what's going on, but HR just called her in. Everyone's talking about it." By the end of the day, she was out. Fired. Reputation destroyed. She tried to call me, probably begging, crying, screaming for me to stop. I ignored her. She wasn't worth the effort. Her last-ditch attempts. By the evening, she showed up at my apartment, banging on the door, screaming, "Please, just talk to me. I made a mistake." I let her stand outside for 10 minutes before I finally opened the door. She looked like a wreck, eyes red from crying, hair a mess, shaking like a leaf. "Why?" she sobbed. "Why did you have to ruin my life?" I tilted my head. "You think I did this?" I laughed coldly. "You ruined yourself the second you decided to cheat. I just made sure everyone knew the truth." She collapsed to her knees. "I have nowhere to go," she whimpered. "Not my problem," I said, stepping back. "Go ask your bad boy for help." She shook her head violently. "He's gone. He left me when he saw the video." I chuckled. "Wow, loyal guy. Sounds like you two were perfect for each other." She grabbed my leg, sobbing. "Please, I'll do anything. Just let me fix this." I yanked my leg away. "There's no fixing this. You made your bed. Now lie in it." And with that, I slammed the door in her face. Her cries echoed through the hallway as I walked away, not looking back. Final thoughts. By the end of the week, she had no job, no friends, no family support, and definitely no husband. Meanwhile, I was free. Revenge wasn't just sweet. It was complete. Was this revenge justified, or did it go too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear your take. And if you love jaw-dropping pro-revenge stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash the like for more thrilling tales you won't want to miss. Every like, share, and subscription means the world to us. It helps us keep bringing you the stories you crave. Your support truly makes a difference. Thank you so much for being part of our community.